My name is Cass Ryan, and I will be speaking about empathy with autism. There's a common misconception, and is often found in the diagnostic criteria, that in order to be autistic, you need to have a lack of empathy. I've even been told by therapists and professionals, I wouldn't have noticed because you're so empathetic. And that's entirely wrong. A study has found that there are multiple studies. If you simply look up autism and empathy, you'll find multiple articles if you do want to do your further research. But there are actually four kinds. The four are called cognitive empathy, responsive empathy, affective empathy, and somatic empathy. Cognitive empathy and responsive empathy are most common in neurotypicals, whereas affective empathy and somatic empathy are more common in autistic people. But also neurodivergent in general, if you do find that you're ADHD as well, it's common in that also. So the first one, cognitive empathy, is a fundamental understanding. So, for example, you can understand that this person is upset and maybe in your head is acting irrationally because they've lost their job. They're panicked, they're scared, and it makes sense. So taking a step back from the emotions and just logically, that makes sense. That is common in neurotypicals. Responsive empathy is taking action. So, for example, you might not understand the pain of an abortion if you, for example, if you're male, but there's more circumstances than that. But you might vote for abortion rights. So that would be taking action. That would be responsive empathy, which is also common in neurotypical people. With affective empathy, it's also known as emotional empathy, so emotional intelligence. So feeling the emotions. So this is common in autism. You will feel the pain, you will feel the loss of someone losing their job. So, for example, you can sit there looking utterly, having no emotion on your face, but inside it feels as if you're losing your job. You can feel it. And somatic empathy is a bodily response. So, for example, if you're feeling the pain emotionally of losing your job, you will feel the bodily response to it. For example, a panic attack, disassociation, maybe faster breathing, sweating, blushing if you're embarrassed. Those kinds of things are very common with autism and empathy. And it's important to understand that a lack of empathy is not, it can be found in both neurotypical and neurodivergent people. You don't just have a lack of empathy because you're autistic, you just have a different kind, which neurotypicals struggle with. And we struggle with the neurotypical kind. But at the end of the day, one is not less than the other, especially when it comes to somatic empathy, because you're feeling it, you can often go into shutdown. So if somebody's going, oh my God, I just lost my job, crying in front of you, you can look like a complete statue. You can look like you're feeling absolutely nothing, and then they can go, oh my goodness, you feel nothing, all the usual insults. But in fact, you're feeling it a lot and you end up going into shutdown. So it's about having an open mind, awareness, and empathy for one another. And it's important to understand that one is not superior to the other. And it is a myth that autistic people don't feel empathy.